It is Tuesday, November 17th. Joe Delaronde Ujets. This is our 151st program, the 151st update from the Ghanawaga COVID-19 Task Force. We're glad you could join us on today's program. We will have a couple of updates. I'll be introducing an old friend, and but first though, we'd like to introduce a cousin of mine. Boy, it seems like I know everybody here today. Robin Delaronde is the director of the Ghanawaga Education Center. As we know, during COVID, education and schools in general have had a very difficult task to keep the kids learning, but keep them safe. So with her latest update, we'd like to welcome Robin Delaronde.
Thank you, Joe, my cousin. It's really nice to be acknowledged in our relationship. First of all, I would just like to say that today I'm here to talk about 4 particular items and give an update to community on these 4 items. One is fairly quick, and the first item is just to announce to community that if you have not already heard, that the Combined School Committee will be holding their annual General Assembly tomorrow evening from 6 o'clock to 9. Obviously, it is going to be held virtual, and we are really hoping that community parents would attend the session. It is, in terms of if you would like to partake, just a reminder that you would contact the Combined School Committee Administrative Assistant Geraldine Horn. You can reach her at geraldine.horn@kecedu.ca if you would like to partake, and she would then forward you a link so that you can participate. Part of the event would be that the Combined School Committee will be providing updates in terms of their yearly activities and what they've accomplished to date, and also an update on the governance manual and where they're at in terms of the work that they've been conducting. In addition, our schools will have reports. We will be discussing the situation at each of our 3 schools. And for myself, I will be giving an update in general in terms of phase 1, how we've conducted ourselves, the situation we're in upon our initial reopening. So we will also have other post-secondary information, special ed, our curriculum, and in addition to that, we had 2 seats that were open for general parents and also community, and we will announce what the situation is with that, with the nominations and the elections. So once again, tomorrow, 6 to 9, we'd like to see your participation. The second item that I want to give an update on is that, as Joe noted, we have had quite a task in terms of setting up our schools, re-entry into our schools, and having certain priorities and goals that we wanted to accomplish when we did open our doors. And with that, we had set indicators that we wanted to accomplish. That was set between the dates of September and to October 31st. Or I should say more so in August. With that in mind, what we did is, upon the end of that phase 1, we did a comprehensive review and analysis of the goals that we wanted to achieve. We reached out to parents, we reached out to teachers, we reached out to administrators, and we asked various questions in regards to the satisfaction of the surveys and the programs that we were offering to you as community. And with that, we will be making available a report shortly that will give everyone an indicator of our success, our challenges, and from that, what we are going to be doing is working to identify, what is best in terms of either making program changes, keeping things as it is, and so forth. I do want to say that one of the things that, in terms of looking at the data that we received and the recommendations, it was really challenging to say that looking at the direction, where are we going to go from that, because as you're all aware, in the midst of the phase 1, we did have to immediately change programs due to the fact that we are in the red zone. And keeping that in mind, we also it's difficult to anticipate when and where we'll be coming out of that red zone. And what we do want to do, though, is make sure that any changes we make when we do come out of the red zone, that we have programs that are really firm and address the needs of all our parents. One of the things, though, is key, and as we're entering this month, is we do know, and what we have seen, whether it's from the phase report or from overall consultation with our staff, with our teachers and counselors, keeping in contact with parents, we know and we have identified that there is an immense amount of stress. We understand that, we acknowledge that, and I do want to give, really recognize our teachers and our educators for reaching out, our counselors, our support mechanisms there, reaching out to parents, hearing their concerns, hearing their issues, and we do want you to know is that we are going to be responding to that, and in most cases, many have been responded to in terms of the needs for their children. So, as I said, the phase, I will be giving a preliminary report at the General Assembly about that first phase. We will be sharing it. It will be on our website following the AGA. Our staff, our teachers will be having discussions at each school level about the report, and I will be going in along with the school administrators discussing that and really working with them in terms of identifying, the direction that we want to take collectively while keeping our children safe, keeping our families safe, and keeping our community safe. The other area that I want to address is for our community schools, our 3 schools. Obviously, progress reports did have to make some adjustments. More information will be going out to you shortly. But in terms of the first, what would have been identified the first terms, it was a real collective agreement amongst the staff, among the administrators, that we would be looking at more of a first communication or what would be a progress report. Many of the things that we encountered, whether it was parents, students, teachers, was really that transition to online learning, the technical issues, the training that was required both for staff, for teachers, for students, and for parents. And in addition to that, the bringing the children in, transitioning for everyone into this new environment following our new safety protocols. So that was our priority. So it was really challenging to really address the core academics in terms of giving a specific percent or grade to certain activities or assessments. So with that in mind, we are continuing to move forward to 2 terms, and they will be at a 50% weight between the 2 terms. And as I said, more information will be coming from your school. The other area that I want to talk about is in terms of voices have not gone unheard, is that we have been, both at the task force and through the KEC, have been hearing concerns from parents who are sending their children to off-reserve schools, whether they be private or public schools. And this is an issue and a concern that they've been faced primarily, I believe, at the elementary level, due to the fact that some of them have really taken a stance of in choosing not to send their children to school, even though in the provincial schools, what has occurred is that there is no alternative programming provided by the province of Quebec and the Ministry of Education in particular. The programming for home learning is really only provided at this time for families or children who have medical needs, where that type of program has been identified. And we have had some parents in our community who have outright refused to send their children. With that, these parents have been faced with letters or communication from provincial agencies, whether it be social services and so forth, questioning and inquiring about the absence. And as per their protocol and their responsibilities, that is something that they are mandated to do. Our parents, some parents from our community have reached out to ask for support, to ask for help in terms of what can be done to support their situation. So I do want parents to know that as a collective in different agencies with the task force, myself, community services, we are going to be working collaboratively and meeting tomorrow to discuss this situation and to see in terms of how we can support you, how we can look at and address some alternatives to this situation. So with that in mind, as I said, I had four items. I do just want to send, at this time, take a moment to really congratulate and thank the teaching staff at our schools. I really have to say, and I have stressed that I know and we recognize it's been a real challenge. I don't always feel that, people know it's a challenge to be a teacher, but in this point, in this time, the challenges are even more so with the online learning, the stress of their family, not being able to really have that connectivity with everyone and the children and the families. And really want to say Ghanawaga for all your effort, all your hard work, and everything that you've done to make sure that our community, our children are safe. And in terms of it being the spirit of wellness, I ask, take care of yourselves, find that time for yourselves, and for families as well, find that time for yourself, take care, take a moment to breathe, take a moment to enjoy your day, enjoy your time with one another. And so that's all that I really wanted to relay to community right now. And once again, hope that you attend the annual General Assembly tomorrow from 6 to 9. Nyawa.
Now, Robin, well said, well done. And I like the fact that you give some props to the teachers, because yes, it is very, very challenging. And good luck to everybody again. Coming up next is a gentleman who's been a colleague and a friend and actually former boss up until just a couple of days ago. He is now the director, the executive director of Tewatohnhi'saktha. He was just here last week hosting this. So let's bring on Neil McComber.
Nyawa Joe. Just wanted to say that I'm really honored and feel a lot of pride to join the Tewatohnhi'saktha family. They've welcomed me with open arms. I think that's a great workforce. They have a great staff, a lot to build on. They've built a great foundation over the years. I'm excited to help the business community as well as those looking for careers through workforce development. But let's get to the business at hand. Earlier today, Tewatohnhi'saktha had a press release announcing the launch of a survey for the business community. And what we're looking at is the effects of the pandemic, which have had, obviously the pandemic has had negative effects on the business community, and what we need to know is what those effects are and how we can help you in the future. So last week, Darryl Leclerc was on talking about how Tewatohnhi'saktha is going to take a more proactive approach with the pandemic and businesses. That's exactly what this survey and the results are designed to do. Maris Jacobs of Ghanawaga's PLanit Consulting, who will be conducting the survey, will be on after I am to talk more about the survey. What I'm looking at is to talk about what we're going to be doing with the results. So what will we be doing with the results? First of all, we've hired 2 economists to go over those results, give us suggestions, create a plan so that we can build new programming. We're also going to be consulting major stakeholders, Council Table, the Tewatohnhi'saktha Board, KERM, the Business Interruption Fund, to name a few. Following that, in the new year, we hope to have all these results and have some new programming And obviously the attempt is to get dollars for these programs, inject that into the business community to help you through this pandemic. So that's what this is all about. I'd just like to say thank you. I'll leave the survey part to Maris. I would just like at this time to say Ghanawaga to the Tewatohnhi'saktha Business Services for doing all this work up until now, and there's still more work to come. And before I go, I just wanted to say a big Ghanawaga to all those at the MCK I've had the pleasure to work with over the last 23 years. From my perspective, everybody I've ever worked with has done what's best for the collective, and that's really been impactful for me. I hope to bring that over to Tewatohnhi'saktha as well. They do the same thing. Everything's always about the community, and I just hope that continues at both organizations. It's been an honor. Finally, I would just like to bring up Maris now, and hopefully she can fill you in on the survey. It's very important for the business community to take part, and we just hope that you trust your information's confidential. We're going to keep that between PLanit Consulting and ourselves. It's not going to go anywhere. But again, for more information on that, Maris Jacobs of PLanit Consulting. Kahnawà.
Okay. So, my name is Maris Jacobs. I work as a consultant for PLanit Consulting and Communications here in Ghanawaga. I've conducted a few surveys over the last year with PLanit, and we're just about ready to begin the Ghanawaga COVID-19 Business Impact Survey, which has been developed by Tewatohnhi'saktha. PLanit Consulting, or PLanit, is an independent business, and we've been contracted by Tewatohnhi'saktha to administer the survey within the community. So to talk a little bit about the purpose of the survey, the purpose of the survey is to reach out to our local entrepreneurs, big and small business owners, to gather data that's needed to identify and evaluate the impacts that this pandemic has had on you and your businesses. This data is going to be used by Tewatohnhi'saktha to develop new programs and provide services to mitigate those impacts. So basically what this survey is trying to do is to get an idea of what your experience has been as a business person, a business owner, over the last 7 months since the major shutdowns began in March. Some of the questions are pretty straightforward. We ask about sales, revenue, changes to staff, and other interruptions that may have happened since March. But there's also plenty of room to leave comments, suggestions, and recommendations. So we definitely want people to give their opinion and their input. If you have something that feels a little bit more personal or unique to your business, there's plenty of space to share that. Some of the things that we think the community should know about the survey is that it's confidential, like Neil said. The contact information that you provide is not going to be shared externally. It's going to be kept with Tewatohnhi'saktha to, again, develop new programming and share resources with businesses later on down the line should the current safety measures that we're operating under continue. Another thing that's important that we want people to know, the survey is 27 questions, and we would like to we're trying to gather this information over the phone. So we're going to be starting making phone calls to businesses. If you really don't have time in your schedule, we realize that it's busy times, and if you think that you're not able to talk over the phone with us, we do have an option to do that through email. Next is the duration of the survey. So beginning tomorrow, our collectors or surveyors will begin to reach out to businesses. So that's tomorrow, November 18th, and they'll continue to do so through until December 18th. So the survey will last exactly a month from tomorrow. Lastly, I just want to mention that you can definitely reach out to us at any time if you want to schedule your own time and date to take the survey, so you don't have to wait for us to reach out to you. And this is really for an opportunity for businesses to share their concerns, their experiences, to have services that are in place improved upon, and further development of services down the line. You can contact me if you have any questions at PLanit Consulting, so I'm at maris@planetghanawaga.ca, or 514-971-8077. Kahnawà.
Very well done, Maris. First time she's on the update, and great job, some great news, great initiative there by Tewatohnhi'saktha. By the way, Maris and Corinne Delormier will be on K1037's Party Line Talk Show to talk about this, give some more detail, and that'll be tomorrow at about 10 past 12 noon. Just a couple of notes before we leave. Robin was in here talking about the annual General Assembly, which takes place tomorrow. She did give some information, contact information, if you'd like to participate. You have to contact Geraldine Horn, and her coordinates are Geraldine, Gerilyn.horn with no E, at kedc.ca, and you can also call for more information anytime at the Education Center at 450-632-8770. Just a note from the task force, tomorrow there will be a task force meeting. This past Monday, which is yesterday, there was, of course, an extension of the state of emergency, and technically that'll be extended from November 21st to December 21st, and that'll be the 8th extension since the emergency began. So it's been pretty busy times here in Ghanawaga. Also like to mention, since Neil was on, and congratulations, Neil. I don't think I said congratulations, but we'd like to thank Barbara McComber as well for her hard work. She stayed on after she retired to help mentor Neil and make the transition smooth. So she had been the interim director for several months. I'm not sure exactly how long, but thank you very much, Nyauko, for your work. Anything else? I believe that's it. We will be back on Thursday with our update, and at that point, of course, we will have Lloyd Phillips and or Lisa Westaway joining us, and I believe we also have some other guests. So thanks to Robin Delaronde, Neil McComber, and Maris Jacobs. That should do it for us, and I'd like to say happy birthday to my wife tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Nyauko adano onigiwahi.